Well, wonderful. Thank you for joining us today, Alejandra Valdez. I'm excited to learn a little bit more about you, who you are, and your business or businesses, as I might say. So thank you for spending some time with us in your busy schedule. Let me start by simply asking you, um, what would you like us to know about you and your businesses? Share a little background.
Yeah, so thank you for the introduction, Linda. Yes, my name's Alejandra, and I am based out of Omaha, Nebraska. And so I do have a business here that I started 4 years ago. It's called Viva Fit Kitchen, and that's a meal prep company. And we focus on providing healthy meals to our community through nutrition. And then also we provide nutrition education events and such. We have like nutrition classes. The culinary classes really what we have, and then we do a lot of things with partners in the area, like nutrition coaches and fitness coaches, just spread awareness and provide access. It's easy access and to provide just convenient meals for people to eat healthier. So that's what I do mainly. Last year, because of building the business after 4 years, and really, I think most entrepreneurs can relate that it's very tough to build a business. And even going through the journey of building the business, it's like, I wouldn't say it's critical to surround yourself with people that are like-minded and on the same journey of building something more than just for them. And it led me to start my second business, which is more of a passion, turning into a business. I would say it's not yet a nonprofit, but it will be turning into a nonprofit for this coming year. And it is an entrepreneurs network called Embolden that's here in the Omaha area as well. And we host monthly events for entrepreneurs, just providing resources, letting them know about different things in the area, trends going on. We do specific, we have different kinds of events. So we do specific workshops, and then we all Oh, sorry, did I freeze up?
It did a minute, and that's okay.
Okay,
That's
what
right.
was the last thing that
You were
was?
just starting talking about that you connect people and you do workshops. And
Yes.
that's
So the types of events, we do three different types. We do the workshops that are more educational based. We do the networking ones where we are very intentional with the networking that we do. And then we also do panel events. So those are the types of events that we do. I would call myself a serial entrepreneur, and I'm very, and I would also call myself a change maker. Like, I'm very big on like advocating for underrepresented communities, including people of color and then women as well, because I'm both, and it's definitely not equal in this world yet. So anything that I can do to make it more level playing field in this world, like, I'm going to do it. And it's something that I really dedicated my life to do, is build more equity for the underrepresented communities.
love it. Love it. So when we get it right, we won't even have to talk about it anymore, right?
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
with you. I can feel the passion and I appreciate that a lot. So 4 years into a business and then you saw a need and you're, building community and offering value. And I love that. I love that. I'm wondering about if you think about the last 4 years and you reflect on where the growth of your business has come from, what would you attribute that to?
Definitely collaborations, building the relationships with people that then spread your word about things. I mean, we can do social media all we want, like, and do things in the digital space, like everybody says, that we're trending towards, which, yes, social media and being in the digital space keeps you top of mind, but it is definitely those relationships that are being built like every day, that like really are impacting, and that like people will refer you from that. And I know that's attributed a lot to mine. Like, I have been a big networker since in my college days, and it started there. And I think really that start of like making relationships happen, genuine relationships happen, that has just been something that has evolved over the years. And that's why even starting my business, my second business, was so easy and so natural, because it wasn't easy. I would say it was so natural to do, because like I've always been that type of person that connects people. And the power of like connecting with people is just invaluable. Like there's so much value in that, in connecting and building those relationships. So for us, like with Viva Fit Kitchen, really building relationships with industry partners that are in similar spaces, and instead of like competing, we're collaborating. Because I read this quote the other day too about like how people that are collaborating are at the top and people that are in competition are at the bottom. And it's so true. Like I think that's like the biggest thing that has attributed to like my success is the collaborations I've been able to build throughout the years. So
that beautiful. You know, we have found as well that people love to buy from those they know, like, and trust. And that takes time to develop those relationships, those trusting relationships. So I love to hear that you value those and attribute that to your growth. Curious here about if you were to start your business over again. So let's talk about your first one, right? What have you learned? What would you have done differently, maybe, as you think about that?
Yeah, so something I definitely didn't do in my first year. I'm not a finance person. My strong skills are in marketing and management. That's like my thing, not the finance part. So for the first year, I didn't really I didn't have any financials, that we call them financials. I think I was at least smart enough at the time to open up a separate bank account. So I had transactions going through that account, but and that's like the only thing that really saved me later on, because I had like nothing categorized. I wasn't tracking any financials. And even now, like as a business owner, I think I can speak for many of us when we say like finances, are a lot of business owners, like they dread doing the finances. It's hard for everyone because they're doing what they love in their craft, and they're doing what comes natural and why they started the business in the first place. And the finances is just, I don't think it's just it has to be there. It's part of the business. So it was definitely something I wish I would have paid attention to sooner. But even now, as I develop like as a business owner, really knowing my finances in a way that I can take them as a dashboard view, like a managerial view, and make decisions on those numbers, not just plugging in numbers, categorizing things because that's what I'm supposed to do, but using those numbers, using those ratios that you calculate from your numbers to make decisions on business going forward. I wish I would have done that sooner, but I didn't, and it definitely came with a big cost and a lot of learning lessons not doing that sooner. But if I could start all over sooner, I would have gotten a CPA sooner. I would have, and it's hard, actually. It's hard to say that I would have gotten a CPA, because when you start a business, sometimes you just don't have the money to do things that you don't know that you're supposed to do. So I would say if you don't have the money, if you're just starting a business, look at resources that could be available to you. A lot of colleges, like college students, would do work for free for businesses, at least that are starting out. It's part of their projects they can do in school, and look at those avenues if you can't. But otherwise, if you can afford a CPA, get a CPA. So
yeah, very good. And I love that reference in that space that you're talking about, because that's what we find that business owners are needing. And that is a place where we can show basic ways of doing that and teach folks that maybe don't have an accounting degree or don't have a CPA. Obviously, CPAs might tell you what you need to do, and we love to come into that space and teach how to do it. So it's a great partnership when you think about, and you said, surround yourself with people, right? How can we be resourceful together? Love that. Love that. I'm wondering about how do you manage the integration of your personal life, your passions and your business, now that you've got two that you're working through? How do you integrate those together?
It's easy to do because what I do aligns with who I am as a person. And it's like I live my business every day. I do it every day. So it's not like I have to be a whole separate person as a business person versus me. Like it's already what I do. And I think having alignment that will help with that. And just if you love doing it, like it's not really, it's an everyday thing that you live anyways. It's not like I keep it separate. For me anyways, I am my business, and I proudly am my business. I'm very aligned with what I do. It's what I do every day. So I wouldn't say it's in that way. Like there's a lot of things that I do throughout the days, like on my everyday life, that connects to my business, and vice versa. Like what my days look like, I have a routine. Like I start my days with a workout every day. I do, depending on the day, I do meditation. And it's all part of like the health lifestyle, which is what my business is. And so I do that already. And the connecting with people like that, I love doing that. It's like what fills my energy up. And I know not everyone's like that. Sometimes that drains people, but for me, it does fill my battery up. And so connecting with people, going to stuff like that, like it's not work for me. It's really like enjoyable, and it's part of who I am. So I think really just aligning a life that you love. I never say like start a business, and you have to make the business kind of align with how you see your life every day. And if it doesn't, maybe it's not the right thing for you to do, but you won't feel like some days are harder. Some days you are doing work that of course you don't want to do but it has to be done because it's part of running the business. But for the most part, like it is very rewarding. And at the beginning it's hard because you literally have to do everything of the business, even things that you don't love. So it is hard, but it can be consistent and things start aligning more into lifestyle that you envision for yourself. So
yeah, beautiful. That congruency, that you're living the very thing that you're teaching and educating, that's a great role model, first of all.
yeah.
And to your point, when it just becomes a natural lifestyle, it's easy. I hear people often say, oh, work-life, family life balance, it's a tough thing. And when you love what you do, and right, the rest of doing life with the people that you love is easier, because
Yeah.
there is alignment, and that's something that a lot of folks have a hard time figuring out. So good for you.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. I'm excited for you. How about building team? When you add people to your team, or when you're selecting partnerships to collaborate with, what do you look for so that there is that alignment in who and what you're about?
Yeah, so the team part, like I do have a small team now, and I think really I have never forced like it has all came very just organic, the growth of the team. Sometimes, and I don't know if that's the right way that you're supposed to do it, but who knows, like business, who knows what the right way is half the time. But for me it was I know there's some needs that I have to delegate off my plate, and I have people around me who are willing to do that, and people who are stepping up to the plate that are like, I want to help you with that. And it hasn't came like I have to go look for people. I think the right people, like I put out there needing help with this, the right people would come. And then that's how I've been building my team, just organically. And if it feels like aligned, like thank you for like, what skills do you have that could help in my business? That's how it has been. We're not a bigger team yet, so I think as we grow, I think I have 8 people right now, but as we grow and maybe start hiring out more, I will probably have to be more of the systemized, like going through interview like processes and such. But the people that I have now, it's people that I in my life, in my network, that I've already known. So
There's already a relationship there to build on.
yeah.
Nice, nice. The whole idea of once you have those relationships, still creating the environment for them to find that meaning and purpose and that shared intrinsic reward is important, don't you think?
Yes, that is very, very true. And and something I'm learning as a leader every day too is really, because I also develop myself as a leader all the time. Like I never want to be the same as I was yesterday. And I'm always finding new ways of how I can communicate better and have people work in their strengths, because I mean, it's better for all of us. And so that's something that I've been working on too. Just, I know there's needs like in the kitchen, like actually cooking the things that we do. So there are needs in the kitchen where, hey, maybe that's not your first option to do this, but it needs to be done. Like who wants to really wash dishes? I don't know, but I was like, it needs to be done. So there's, you know, good and bad to everything, but I can always, you know, something, I'm a very visionary type of leader person. So if I can, you know, help you see that vision and help you into your own, if you ever have aspirations of yourself, like what do you really want to do for your life, like know that I will, like as long as you know I will help you also reach your goals. So, and I hope, and I know like anyone on my team could tell you too, like I truly do care about them. And it's like I always ask them like, what are your goals in life? Like I want to help you like really live the life that you dream, because that's what it's really all about. Like we create like the life that we want, and sometimes we're not given the life that we want, but we can create the life that we want. So
You touched on an important word. I don't think people dream enough or dream big enough, you
yes.
know, to go through that process. And so talk a little bit about what is that for you? How do you spend some time, reflective time with, you reference visionary leadership and, you know, dreaming and, you know, pursuing those dreams. What does that look like?
Well, I think people have the dreams. They're just scared to actually say like the things that they really want to do, because they don't think that it's achievable. But if you just talk about it, if you put it out there, like that holds you accountable for things. And many people don't like to do that, which is why they don't share these big dreams that they have, even though they might have them. But I think that in that way, I always encourage people to dream big. And on the other side, have a plan to get there. You can be around people that dream big all the time, but you look at what they do every day, like they're not moving towards what they say they really want to do. And I always say that everything that you do is like in your day-to-day life, and like what are you doing in your day-to-day life that's like helping you get there. You have to have it built in every day, that like if this is like what you envision, like what you want for your life, you need to do something every day, like to cultivate that kind of life for yourself. So
I love the reference that dream big and then have a plan and then work the plan.
yeah.
Absolutely, because without that direction and that vision, it's hard to put a plan together. And to actually move toward it, it's hard to do that without a plan. So even if the plan has to change and modify.
Yes, there's always, I mean, the plan's probably going to change. It's going to change at some point, and as we grow, it's going to change. Like, it will change for sure, but have that vision of what you want your life to look like. And it's like an example for me, I would love to have more time freedom. I would love to help build the communities more. I mean, when I say like I would love to build like schools one day in areas that, you know, need it. And like I want to provide those kinds of things. I want to go on tour, you know, when I become an author and write a book and go on tour and do speeches. And that's all part of like what I envision my life to be like. But for the meantime, like I'm building the business to get it so big so that it can start running, and then running, I wouldn't say on its own, running more efficiently, more productively, building me more wealth so that I can give back. And that's the thing that I think about some people, especially women, that they think that having this vision to build wealth can seem like, well, it's not about the money. You know, it's like, I don't want just the money. And like, it's not about just wanting the money, because when a good person like gets a lot of money, they do good things with it. And we need more people to want more money and not make it seem like it's, you know, I'm just after the money. It's not that you're just after the money. It's like the things that money does bring, like it brings a lot. You can provide a lot like to other people with more money. So I think we should definitely, especially as women, focus on that and not always think just because we're asking for more like that, like the people are going to the US as like, hey, she's just after the money, because it's not about that. So
Yeah, I align with what you are saying. For us, it's about creating world abundance to do good work.
yeah.
And whatever that good work needs to be and where your passion and interests are. Our definition of a business actually is a commercial profitable enterprise that can work without you. So the whole idea is as you get it running and put systems and people in place and creates passive income for you, which gives you that financial freedom to do other things. And that's truly what entrepreneurs love to do. They start this kind of work all the time because there's a passion and there's a spirit about them that gets ignited in collaboration with others.
Yes.
Yeah, you are definitely that person. I love your spirit. What do you do for fun and how do you create fun in the workplace?
Yeah. Well, I do love, to me, working out is fun. Like when we have, I go with a trainer, and when we have group classes, that's fun to me. Doing like maybe competitive little sports games that's fun to me. I love like craft cocktails. So I actually try like different craft cocktails around town. I actually started getting some promotional things doing that too. So that has been cool too, being like a micro influencer, doing like different things. And so I love like doing that, doing like content type things. Those are fun to me. Because like I mentioned earlier, like I love marketing. I love like the content creation too of marketing. That's like one of my favorite things to do. I do that for fun. I actually don't do too much of that anymore. Like as far as my marketing for my business, someone has like taken that over for the most part. But now I get to express my love for that in my personal, like on my personal stuff. It's not from my which is still, very related, but it's not just the color, everything has to be on brand when I'm doing it with my business. On this, it's just more like creatively for me, and different things, not necessarily just like the food part. But there's other things I can take content of, and I've really loved doing that for fun as well. And of course, just spending time with my family. I mean, nothing I think fills my bucket more than spending time with my family. Like we're all very close. My sisters and my brother and we're all super close. So when all of us are together, it's like I love doing that. So
Yeah, you're definitely a people person and all about relationships. That's for sure. And I hear a theme that the experience is the marketing, no matter what it is, right? It's the experience that you're having in the journey of life that is worth telling others about. And
yes.
it's just a natural place for you to be, no doubt.
Yes, it's definitely, I mean, the whole thing about life is like, I think when I was younger, I used to think like, when I get here, like I'm gonna feel this way when I get here. But it's really like the process of the journey of building wherever you think you're going to get to, like that's really what life is. And it's been so awesome just to like be able to like live like the life that you love. Like I love it. I love being able to do what I love every day. So yeah.
Yeah, and the world would be a better place if more people could discover that because it is a discovery process.
Yes, it is.
I'm curious about what might be some misconception about business or something that you discovered along the way as you were running your business that you needed to address. Were there some surprises?
Misconceptions about business that you are always profitable. I will say that running a business is a lot of risk. Like, and unless, depending on your business, right? Depending on your business model, like sometimes you can have an influx of capital, like say that if you're taking out a loan, if you're having investors, anything of that sort. But running the day-to-day operations, like I remember when I thought like, oh, I just want to hit six figures. Like six figures is not enough at all. It's not, and I discovered that quickly. Just because you're making in, bringing in six figures into your business does not mean that's what you're taking home. So, business is expensive. you cannot grow the team by yourself. You can definitely not grow the team by yourself. You have to have a team around you. And for people that are not collaborative minded, I don't think they're going to be great entrepreneurs, because you need a team to grow. And I think that even as you grow as a business, I mean, the minimum should be at least $1 million in revenue, because I don't even think that's going to be enough. But I mean, at least like if that's like your minimum. I just remember, I don't think I really thought big enough in like the revenue numbers as I was younger. And that's also maybe, you know, what I was exposed to. No one in my family had made 6 figures, so I didn't really know, you know, I guess I didn't know what that monetary value really meant at the time. So so as I grew older, yeah, you realize that it's not that much, and you need to raise a cap in whatever you're thinking. So dream bigger.
There you go. And go after it. I love that. Talk about time management, time mastery, or self-mastery. What have you discovered? What suggestions do you have for others, or maybe what you're still working on?
Yeah, so time management is huge, but always make time to take care of yourself. And this is something that I work so hard on, is making sure I make time for me, because even when I'm so busy, and I definitely have had it where I'm legitimately working like 5 a.m. to like 1 a.m. And I am working so much, but that month, it's like that whole month I do that, and I feel like the least, really, the revenue that came in was the least. And other months I'll actually make time, like I mentioned, my routines in the day, where I work out, I meditate, I journal, I make sure I get massages done every month, and you know, eating nutritious things. Those are the months that I feel like I see an increase of revenue, because I mean, directly everything that you do for yourself like is the energy that you output. And if you can't be productively thinking, and you're so exhausted to the point that you're not taking care of yourself, that shows in everything around you, including the money that you're bringing in, or the quality. I mean, maybe it's the quality products you're putting out. I'm not sure. It would all depend on your business, but it definitely, including those like self-care things into my schedule is like a non-negotiable for me now, because I've just seen like the impact of me not doing it. So it's I definitely incorporate it. And some days it's like I'm very hard on myself, as far as like, I have to get this workout done today, I have to do this. But and I do that, like I have to make time for that. And I'm a very type person where I schedule things for myself a lot. So it's definitely calendared, like making sure you have a calendar. There is like a lot of like time efficient things that I've done differently over the years. Like I time block for like work, but not just put, like I used to just put like, hey, I'm working during these times, but now I assign specific tasks during those times. Like these are the 3 things I'm going to do during this time. That way, like I have more of a plan, instead of just like, hey, work for these 3 hours. So it's just more efficient, creating more efficiency in your schedule. And then also just making sure you make the time for you, because it does. I think the time for your self-care, like from experience, like I have just dealt with it for so long, and it's been such a balance with making sure I'm making time for like things that just time to reflect too. Like that's when I journal, because if I don't reflect, I also sometimes like I feel like I'm just moving on what is it called, a spin wheel, a hamster wheel, if you don't reflect. Because I mean, but during the reflections, I feel like I have such great ideas that come to me. And like the reflection piece is something that I really recently started about, like less than a year ago, probably this year, that I started really journaling and reflecting, like intentionally reflecting. And I swear every time I do that, I feel like I'm like such a high, and I'm like feeling so great. And I was like, this is so awesome. And because it's hard, especially as business owners, entrepreneurs, like we have this like go, go, go type energy all the time. And what's next? And it's hard for us sometimes to sit down and reflect. But I had a leadership coach. I still have a leadership coach And she really has taught me the importance of journaling, and it really changed my life. Like the reflection piece is huge. And I would recommend it to anyone. I didn't think I was going to be a journal type person myself, but I'm doing it and it's helped me a lot. Like really be clear-minded and make decisions from like just a reflective place.
Yeah, and stay focused on what's important, and
Yeah.
yeah,
And also like stay accountable for like what you can do better too.
yeah.
So it's not always just other people. I used to have that mentality where it's like, what did this person do wrong or whatever, but sometimes you have to look inward a lot, and especially reflecting has taught me that a ton.
Nice, nice. So what are you focused on today, so that in 5 years you can say, yes, look at this, I've grown with great intention? Is there something that you're focusing on today to be positioned for in 5 years, or the next 4?
Yeah, so definitely my operations is something that I felt like I lacked a lot. But your business cannot grow without people, like I mentioned. And in order for those people to know where you want to go, you have to have systems in place. You have to have clear systems, and you have to have consistency in your product or service that you offer. And it can't just be all in your head. You have to document these things, and that way they can be repeatable. And that's I focused a lot on that this year, is like those processes. I mean, there's still a lot that I'm working on now, refining processes and documenting processes, so that I can because that's how you create the time freedom that you want, is by people not having to call you for everything, because this stuff is found in your dictionary of things that you have for your team. But if it's not there, they're going to be calling you for everything. And so yeah, that's what I've really been focusing a lot right now, is creating those systems, and then continuing to build relationships in the community. I just recently hired someone actually to help me do that, because that's something like which you even like said that you noticed, like I'm a very relationship person, and building those relationships to me has been so instrumental in like everything that I've done, that like I wanted to assign someone just to do my client relations, because it's that important to me. Like client relationships and partner relationships is like what makes life what it is, and it makes community, and that's something that I value. So that's something that I assigned out first to help do that, because I really
love that. We use the acronym systems as saving yourself time, energy, and money. So system, saving yourself time, energy, and money. And when you put those in place, you get to do the other things that you love.
Yes.
Which I can hear that as well. I'm curious, what advice would you give to a new business owner as we close here? What would be the advice you would give to a new business owner?
At the beginning, you're going to put a lot of work in that. It's going to question yourself, like, is this really what I signed up for? Do I really want to own a business? It's going to take a couple of years for you to actually be able to have the experience of what you thought owning a business may look like. Because at the beginning, I mean, you're doing everything, every little thing that it takes to fulfill an order or, provide a service. And some things you might not like, and you're like, I really didn't sign up for this. And I would say just like keep going. It's like super hard to like bet on yourself. But when you do, like the reward is worth it for sure. So
love that.
Love that.
Well, thank you for sharing your insights and your wisdom and your experience and your energy. Clearly, energy is renewable, right? Yeah. And it looks like you have a good process for self-care that allows you to give to others and pour into them and invest in them as well. So this has been just a delight to talk with you today. And I look forward to connecting again and share this information out there with others that might be in that space. And again, just that abundance mindset to always learn and grow and share. It's really what life is about, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Continually always learning. So it's
beautiful.
It's awesome.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.